John Shire out with an illness. Coach Shire, we hope you feel better. Chris Carrawell on the sidelines for Duke. And John Shire. Yeah, you're not totally sure.
He has the flu. He did have the flu. Well, I was texting with him, and he said he's been knocked out by the flu, but hopefully he's starting to feel a little bit better, and we hope Shire gets better for the next game here, and all's well.
Well, that'll be on Tuesday when Duke welcomes in a 12-2 Pitt team in what is actually now a really interesting game. But John Shire should be feeling better now. His team went to Dallas. They were a 7-point favorite. They won by 27. First and foremost, in our Saturday pick'em, okay, I'm here to tell all of you Duke fans I was wrong. I was dead wrong. I went out on a limb. I thought the Ponies, Andy Enfield, you let me down like a bad horse on a Saturday. You lost by 27. Cooper Flagg had 24, 11, and 3, and Duke dominates. I mean, Jeff, the question does get brought up here. Like, one, it's utter domination by Duke, and they made threes. Knipple and Proctor combined for 7 made triples. Like, do you see them taking more than 2 ACC losses? More than.
All I know is your pony came up lame today. That's what I know, Fana. Your pony came up a little lame.
No, my pony got euthanized on the track. Go ahead.
I wasn't going to go that far. Listen, I wasn't going to go that far. But
Carnival pony today. It was Carnival pony. Don't worry about it.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Listen, Tyrese Proctor's playing really well. And again, last year was a tough season for him with a ton of expectations, and he's played his role. And you heard Chris Carrawell today, and Shire's done it as well, praise Proctor's leadership. And that's an area that, last year he was trying to figure out, I'm sure. And while he's struggling, hard to be a leader if you're not producing. The crazy part as I'm watching this game on the CW, by the way, is I don't think Cooper Flagg has gotten nearly enough credit for what he's done this year. I really don't. I expected this to be like the Cooper Flagg, season, right? Like I remember when I was working at ESPN, you'd have a meeting in the preseason. It'd be like, all right, what are we going to latch onto this year? What's going to sell ratings this year? And this year, it was easy, right? The white kid at Duke, the freshman that's going to be the number 1 pick. Like, it doesn't get any easier than that. And I really don't feel like that narrative has been pushed nearly as much as I thought it would be. And this kid has over-delivered. He's over-delivered. I mean, think about this. As a freshman who just turned 18, like a week and a half ago, he's averaging 17 points, 8 rebounds, almost 4 assists. He's not shooting it well from 3, but, man, he does everything else. And he's got, the weight of the world, in a way, on his shoulders in terms of not having another guard necessarily that can create and make life easier for him. He's got to do that for everybody else.
John, are we not giving him enough national credit? And what do you see with Flagg?
I was watching today. Super unselfish, super high IQ. He gets the ball moving, and when your best player is your best passer and most unselfish offensive guy, you could see it. Everyone passed, the ball pops. They get so many good looks. That's the biggest thing that I see with Duke. They get so many open shots and good looks. Hence why they shot 50 from the floor, 40 from 3. They're just really good, and it starts with Flagg. He got a rebound today and kicked it out, or whether he gets a pass and just touch passes it to the next guy. It's kind of picked up steam, man, and he is not talked about enough with how good he's doing. Maybe because he's not doing the Zion Williams, head at the rim type dunks. But if you want to talk about a freshman season and success, there's not many that have done it better. And it's the role players they have. Malik Brown, Zion James, these guys are winners. And that's a credit to the Duke staff going out and just getting really good guys that are going to play for one common goal. And they're only getting better, man. Every time I watch them, I'm more impressed.
So I'm in total agreement with what Jeff said and what you said, John. Cooper Flagg is not getting enough attention nationally. And I understand we're in a football-driven world, and the playoff probably doesn't help that.
Yeah.
That being said, this kid is over-delivering. He is a stud. I don't think it helps that in the ACC this year, there's just not much buzz. So his conference games are not going to get these blockbuster as much as the SEC. But we're watching greatness. Early in the season, we were saying Con Knippel's not going to shoot it this bad for the whole duration. Today, you saw what happens when he makes some shots. Can Tyrese Proctor piece it all together? Yeah, he's doing that. Sion James gets his role, and then you go right down the line. Like Malik Brown does give them defense. Kama Malawach is a first-round pick. He's a rim protector. He's an elite athlete, and he changes the game defensively. And if he didn't go out of the Kentucky game, who knows what happens? Imagine this scene for a second as the new year has begun. Jeff, imagine this scene. We're in San Antonio, and let's just for cracks and giggles here. It's Tennessee, it's Auburn. We'll throw in Alabama. Oh, there's the SEC. The SEC's 3 of the Final 4, and then it's Cooper Flagg and Duke, and that could happen. Yes. And I think it would be really compelling to the nth degree if all year we've talked about this Southeastern Conference, and rightly so, and this stud is in San Antonio trying to show everybody else that, yeah, the best player on this team, which is more than good enough around him to do it, is there, and they can win it too.
Would he be hated then? Because I think that's part of it right now. He's not hated because he doesn't really show any emotion. Good, bad. He doesn't, right? I mean, like if he makes a great play, he's not pounding his chest. He's not, like doing any of that stuff. And when he's not playing well, you can't tell at all. I mean, this kid is like a rock out there. So I think he's more difficult to hate than most of the white Duke players. Am I wrong, Henson? You could attest to this.
I just love his demeanor. I just love his demeanor, man. He's really good. And him being the way he plays, it just is bleeding off on his teammates, and he's making everyone better. And that's kind of why he's going to be the number 1 pick. And it's going to be interesting to see what he becomes as a pro, because I just don't see him being like, he'll be a good pro.
He's not going to be a franchise guy. Right.
Yeah. Like I think he'll be a, starting 10-year forward type guy. He'll make a lot of money. He's a good winning piece for an organization.
Could he be a now again, hear me out. I'm not saying he's this up and down, but could he be a Lamar Odom type of player in a sense of like can pass, can do a little bit of everything, isn't going to dominate games, but is just going to impact the game in every way. When Lamar Odom was at his best and mentally was locked in, that's kind of what he was.
Yeah, I think as of now, depending on how his three-point shot develops, so he's a guy that you put in a pick and roll, you get switches, you get him against a guard, you let him play out of the post, and his handles, we saw it with Tatum, though. Like, Tatum didn't really show all he had at Duke, and now he's probably a top 10 player in the entire universe. So he might come out and have a little more stuff in his bag than we ever thought, right? He had a specific play today where he was kind of hinting on the break, and the guy reaches and kind of hesitated and spent off him in the fast break. Like, he can handle it a little bit as well. So it'll be interesting to see what an NBA franchise sees in him and where they see him at. But if you're trying to win games and you want to be successful as a team, he is a player you can plug and play right away. So that's how I